Welcome back to another Providence Trial gold medal tutorial for Risk of Rain Returns, the series where I explain everything you'll need to know in order to earn the gold. I am not necessarily creating these guides in any particular order, but considering that Huntress is one of only 2 survivors you begin the game with unlocked, I figured I better tackle some of her trials sooner rather than later. So today, we are focusing on one of the earliest trials you have access to, known as Piercing Space and Time. Piercing Space and Time awards you with Huntress's alternate utility skill, Warp Dart, if you are able to complete it within 15 minutes. In order to obtain the gold medal though, you'll need to finish the trial within just 1 minute. You'll have access to Huntress's full kit, and you start with 3 crowbars and 2 bungus for a bit of extra power and regeneration. The basic idea is to learn a route where you can quickly bounce around the entire stage using your Warp Dart skill without getting killed, and eventually make it to the teleporter in the top right of the map. I had a lot of fun with this trial, and figuring out a way to reach the teleporter in time for the gold. I think that this is mostly due to the overall concept though, and how much I enjoy the Warp Dart ability. It's another great example of a Providence trial that could work well as a separate game mode. As far as the difficulty goes, and overall time spent trying for the gold, I found this one to be somewhere in the middle. You may have to spend a little time practicing Warp Dart and getting comfortable with the timing and trajectory on a couple of difficult shots. There are also many different paths to take and possible items to collect, so let me go ahead and explain the gold medal route that worked for me. To begin with, the first 2 Warp Dart shots on the initial 2 platforms are fairly easy. I just fire them somewhere between a 45 and 60 degree angle. You'll get the hang of those 2 pretty quickly, and there's a lot of room for error here. Now this next shot is one of the trickiest parts of the whole run. You will notice that as soon as I appear on this ledge, I activate the skill and start walking to the right. That is on purpose, because as soon as you hold down the ability and start aiming it, the cooldown begins. You want to be able to fire Warp Dart as soon as possible after warping to another spot, so when you land on this platform, trigger the ability immediately and start walking to the right. The shot is very difficult to make, and I found the best spot to fire is somewhere on the lower ledge when you're at about a 75 or 80 degree angle. This will definitely be one of the determining factors in your run. If you miss it, you probably won't have time for the gold, so just restart and try again. The next shot is also a tough one due to how easy it is to fire at too high of an angle and hit your head on the ledge above you. For this reason, you need to carefully edge yourself as far to the left as possible without falling off. As you can see, you should be able to line your back foot up where it's perfectly flush with the platform. From here, you need to fire at around a 35 to 45 degree angle as soon as the cooldown is up. At least these 2 tricky shots are near one another and towards the beginning. It makes it easy to practice them. Once you've made it here without any blunders, grab the extra charge and throw out a secondary skill to clear some of the airborne enemies. The first warp is a simple shot that you almost can't miss. The one after it isn't too bad either, just don't get ahead of yourself and release the dart too early or you won't have a high enough angle. You probably want it somewhere around 60 or 70 degrees to make it up there. After grabbing the next charge, I just do a quick Warp Dart which should send you right through the gap like so. Continue past the enemy and stand on the far right side of this middle platform so that it can't hit you. Warp Dart into the alcove with about a 75 degree angle, and after you land, edge as far as you can to the left. Shoot upwards with a highly vertical shot, somewhere around 85 to 90 degrees, in order to make this next one safely. Don't make this shot harder than it has to be. Just overcompensate with more verticality if you find yourself missing this one. Once you've made it this far, the hardest parts are over and the rest of the trial you can sort of play by ear. This shot through the gaps is easier than it looks. Release at about 50 or 60 degrees and the trajectory should be perfect. Continue quickly past the enemies and up the rope. Walk to the edge and fire a quick warp shot at around 15 degrees and it will catch one of these platforms. You can jump over to grab the hopo and then do another quick shot, maybe slightly higher at around 20 degrees this time. Shuffle past the enemies, and when you get to the top of the stairs, you can take your time and let the enemy hit you if you need to while you line up a fairly vertical shot. This one isn't hard, but take your time like I did so that you don't accidentally throw away a gold run. I will go ahead and replay the run through from the beginning without any interruptions. It might not be the quickest and most graceful way to complete it, but it's definitely good enough to earn you the gold. Once you're able to nail those tricky shots, everything else should be fairly easy in comparison, and you'll have that gold medal before you know it. I'm doing my best to get these guides out as quickly as I can, but some of the trials are getting longer and harder to explain, so bear with me, I'm a slow editor. I also don't want to sacrifice any of the tips or reduce the explanation quality. There are already enough trial examples on YouTube without any commentary. With that being said, I should have another Huntress example on the way very shortly. As usual, I appreciate you watching, good luck with the trial, and hopefully I will see you again next time.